let me just say a couple of things, then I'll turn it over to someone else. God's intention is never for us to sin. Correct. Okay, that's a very good point. God's intention is never for us to sin. I think that's a really good starting point. And obviously that's confusing if all things are meant to be for our good. All things work together for good for those who love God and are called according to His purpose. So yes, that's a very good point. That is absolutely true. All things work together for those who what? Love God and are called according to His purpose. Is everything going to work out for everyone? No, it is not. The Bible never promises that all things are going to work out in the end. Okay? That is not a promise for everybody. It's a promise for those who are called and who love God. Okay, so it's a vain hope if you don't love God, scripturally. And so I think that's actually something that speaks into this. Everything happens for a reason. Okay, God can work all things together, but if you don't put yourself in His hands, He's the one working to will and to do for us. So if you don't put yourself in His hands, maybe it won't work out. Okay, He's trying. He's trying real hard. Okay, but if you never put yourself in His hands, I mean, what's He going to do for you? It's His favor on our lives. It's not merited, but He's asking us to put our faith in Him. Grace comes through faith. That's where it comes. That's scriptural. I don't know if anyone wants to add anything. Hopefully that hasn't made it hazy.
I'll add something. I know it's a little off. Actually, I just got another question from my wife. Can somebody help her with the kids? I don't know if Sylvia's here. Okay. All right. So I want to add this. Like, for example, I've had a case where somebody was molested when they were like a baby. And they've been serving God for years now. They're not even past their teenage years. They're adults now. And for whatever reason, after God had dealt with a lot of mess, they started getting memory flashbacks when they were a child, when they were still a child, a baby. And so they were frustrated. How can God allow this? And so it's not that He causes us to sin. He didn't allow that so that you can be mad and now you can regress in your faith and your walk. I believe He allowed that to expose areas that are still in our hearts. So it's not causes us to sin. It's literally to get the sin out of our hearts. Because we're all a work in progress. And so there's never a point where, okay, now I'm ready, I'm on a fast lane now. No, there's going to be many times where we're going to have to pull over and allow the Holy Spirit to work in our hearts. And so it's not that He causes us necessarily to sin. I believe when we sin, that's a product to demonstrate how weak we are and how much we depend on Him even more. So it's still, like he was saying, He wills everything for good. And we continue reading Romans 8, and it says, for what good or for what purpose? So that we can be the resemblance and the likeness of Christ. And so it's not so much to fall into sin. I would like to see it, the glass half full, is to get the sin out of us, right? And to be molded and made more like Him, right?